Mark Carney, Canada's steady hand in a time of crisis. Mark Carney has always danced around the edges of Canadian politics, even while making a name for himself on the global stage. Despite receiving tempting offers to join various cabinets, he turned them down, until now. With the arrival of Donald Trump in the White House, who has threatened Canada with tariffs and even annexation, a crisis emerged that seemed to call for Carney's unique expertise in navigating economic turmoil. In a matter of weeks, Carney found himself stepping into the role of Prime Minister, leading the Liberal Party into a federal election. This is his chance to secure a full term in the top political position of his homeland after years of high-profile work in both public and private sectors around the globe. At 60, Carney presents a slender, athletic figure, always impeccably dressed in tailored suits. His demeanor often carries a professorial tone, occasionally lightened by a dry sense of humor. However, he doesn't possess the same magnetic charisma that his predecessor, Justin Trudeau, had, which once had crowds swooning. Nor does he have the polished, retail political flair of his main election rival, Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the Conservative Party. Critics argue that after years spent in high-level positions abroad, Carney may be out of touch with the everyday lives of Canadians. Yet, he positions himself as the leader Canada needs right now, a stark contrast to Trump, and a steady hand to guide the nation through these turbulent times. "If it's not a crisis, you wouldn't be seeing me," Carney remarked to a local news outlet just days before he was elected to lead the Liberals and become Prime Minister. "I'm most useful in a crisis. I'm not that good in peacetime." Since Trump's election, the rhetoric coming from the US has been alarming, with threats to make Canada the 51st state and imposing tariffs that have begun to hurt Canadian exports and industries. Economists warn that these levies could push Canada into a recession, and an economic slowdown seems inevitable. As a middle power closely tied to the US by geography, Canada relies on its southern neighbour for security. Trump's disruptive approach to global politics, his cozying up to Russia, trade wars with China, and attacks on Western allies, has left Canada feeling adrift. Carney believes he is the right person to tackle these challenges head-on. His campaign is built around addressing Trump's threats, promising to negotiate a comprehensive new deal with the US that covers trade and other critical areas. He has embraced Trump's annexation threats, positioning himself as a fierce defender of Canadian sovereignty. "Donald Trump wants to break us so America can own us. It is our strength that the Americans want," he declared at a recent rally. "They want our resources, they want our water, they want our land, they want our country. They can't have it." Carney has also leveraged his international connections to assure Canadians that he can rally allies to support Canada's interests. Since taking office in March, he has made trips to London and Paris, initiating negotiations for a military industry agreement between Canada and the European Union. Born in the Northwest Territories and raised in Edmonton, Alberta, Carney comes from a family of teachers and was one of 4 children. He left Canada to study at Harvard and then the University of Oxford, where he met his wife, Diana Fox Carney, also an economist. They have 4 children together. Although he has Irish roots and held both Irish and British passports, he announced in March that he was in the process of renouncing his citizenship from both countries. Carney's career has been impressive, spending 13 years at Goldman Sachs in various global offices before returning to Canada to work in the finance ministry. In 2008, he became the governor of the Bank of Canada, playing a crucial role in helping the country weather the global financial crisis. His success in that role led to his appointment as governor of the Bank of England in 2013, where he was tasked with steering the pound and the UK's banking sector through the tumultuous waters of Brexit. Carney has been vocal about his understanding of the pivotal moment Canada faces with Trump in power. "I have seen this movie before. I know exactly what's going to happen," he has said on the campaign trail. However, some critics argue that his international experience has left him in a bubble, disconnected from the realities faced by everyday Canadians. His tenure at Brookfield Asset Management, a Canadian investment giant, has also drawn scrutiny, with accusations of offshore tax tactics and controversial investment choices that don't resonate well with voters. Despite these challenges, Carney is presenting himself as a centrist and pragmatist, contrasting sharply with Trudeau's left-leaning policies. Upon becoming Prime Minister, he quickly scrapped a deeply unpopular tax on household carbon emissions, despite having previously championed sustainable finance. As the country heads to the polls, Carney's party is polling slightly ahead of the Conservatives, and he has adopted a calm, measured tone in his campaign, in stark contrast to Poilievre's more combative style. Yet, those who know Carney well say he has a tough side and can be quite assertive behind closed doors. In his previous roles, he earned a reputation for being the smartest person in the room, providing clear and decisive leadership that some appreciated while others found overwhelming. Former colleagues have described him as competent and confident, with a knack for mastering complex topics from multiple angles. Public opinion polls suggest that Carney's professional credentials and commitment to socially progressive values resonate with a broad spectrum of voters. Many surveys indicate that the Liberals are poised to regain a majority in Parliament after 2 consecutive minority governments under Trudeau. At a recent rally in Surrey, British Columbia, supporters expressed their confidence in Carney. Barb and Hannah Gelfand, a mother and daughter who travelled 90 minutes to attend, praised him for standing up to Trump while upholding progressive values. "For me, it matters that he says everyone is free to love who they want to love," a Hannah, 25, remarked. "It is archaic to me that there can be politicians in Canada who do not acknowledge the LGBTQ+ community." Her mother, Barb, 65, added, "From a financial perspective, he knows what he's doing." Another supporter, Brian Pezzi, 53, a library worker, summed it up, and Mark Carney is uniquely qualified. He is the adult in the room. As Canada stands on the brink of a significant election, all eyes are on Carney, a leader who promises to navigate the nation through its most pressing challenges.